connect to our Ujjayi breath. Spreading the foot, feeling the foot. And plug the sit bones, the tailbone down. Inhaling, grow the low back away from the tailbone. We're going to just work a little bit rounds of Shitali. So we'll make a curve through our tongue, and that's to channel the air over the surface of our tongue. And then I just relax my tongue, my lips to exhale out the nose. So I'm trying to generate a channel. If you need to use your fingers on the sides of your cheeks and lips to help form the tongue, go right ahead. This should feel a great deal different than open-mouthed breathing. Okay. Feel much more focused. I should still have a modicum of that slowing effect that we come to rely on with our other forms of pranayama, Ujjayi breath. So Shitali. I'm just going to take a few rounds like so. And if you need to compare it, this technique of curling the tongue to open mouth breathing, you can do a round of each. Feel how much difference you can appreciate. Again, they should be distinct from each other. Just finish the round that you're on, and we'll do one more. cross our right knee over our left knee pile. We'll work 2 moves per side. Actually, let me turn profile here. As we're doing kite hawk, we'll be turning slightly to our right. So inhale, reach the arms out to your sides. Your sides, I'm just designating that by where my front is. And then exhaling, raising the shoulders and turning the thumb down, the bicep down. Inhaling, come up. As the chest comes up, the palms turn up. I'm going to turn a little bit to the right. Exhaling, the thumb down. Raising the shoulder blades. You can tip the chin down. And then inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, thumb down, bicep down. And then inhaling, when we come up, stand that sole of right foot to the ground. Exhaling the left arm over the right thigh. And on exhale, move the left hand down to near the hip. And release. All right. So we'll switch. Just those 2 things. We've got left over right. Inhale, reaching arms out to the side, turning palms up, chest up. And then exhaling, raising the shoulders, turning the bicep down, chin down if you like. Do a couple more. Inhaling, turning the palms up. This time I'm turning a little bit to my left. And then exhale, raising the shoulders. As I'm doing these arm movements, I'm not collapsing in my solar plexus, but we are trying to get the shoulder blades to move distinct from the rib cage. I'm going to turn a little bit more to the left, inhaling the palms up, exhaling. Stand that sole of left foot to the ground. And then moving directly into this seated spinal twist. And the blades are kind of fixed in a position, fixed in relationship to their, to the ribs. It can be challenging to feel the upper back and the mid back, to move the upper and the mid back. And then on some exhale, touch, and the right hand will move toward the left hip. And release. Inhale, we unwind. Unwind the legs and lie on the back. Do 2 items today. one is just continuing to open, or feel that spreading out between the between the shoulder blades. So point the elbows toward the sky, and then lift the arms, elbows toward the sky. Inhale, now lift the head off the ground, the upper back off the ground. Pause, curl tailbone. Exhaling, reach out through the left. And now the elbows can turn slightly toward your bent leg, right. Pull low belly down. Inhale, back center. Curl tailbone, exhale, reach right leg out. And elbows can turn slightly toward left thigh. Pull low belly down. I will do just a few more. Inhale, center. Elbows reaching up, head resting back in the hands. Curl tailbone. Exhale, left leg reach, elbows turn right. Pull low belly down. Inhale, center. Curl. Exhale. Now when I turn my upper body, my shoulder blades stay off the ground, so I'm not turning too much. Inhale, back to center. Let's do 2 more per side. We can do those at our own. 2 more per side. Great. All right. So twisted root abs. We'll cross the right knee over the left. And then depending on the feeling in the knees, you can hook the right foot behind the left calf. Inhale the head, the shoulders off the ground. Exhale, tailbone shifts toward the sky. Reach the thigh bones up. Pull low belly down. I want you to get into that pattern where you can track your legs movement. Inhale into the low back. And then exhale, tailbone, shifting it toward the sky, reaching thigh bones up. Pull low belly down. Feet very active. Let's do another like this. Inhale. Exhale, curling tailbone, reaching the thighs up. Pull low belly down. All right. Leave the legs as they are. Inhale, the head down. Stack your hands on your thigh, your right thigh. Now this is going to require a lot of abdominal intention. Exhale, the back stays on the ground. Pull the legs into the palms into the leg. No strain in the neck relaxed. Pull low belly down. Do one more. Inhale, keeping the back on the ground, so you have to be abdominally focused as you inhale. And then exhale, curling the tailbone, pull the thighs into the hands, push the hands into the thighs. Get a good push going. Pull low belly down. Just see what you're getting into. All right, release. In the beginning, when we did those rotations through the arm limbs, right, this is kind of an analog of that. We're doing just a big old internal rotation of these leg limbs. So let's switch sides, left over right. Point the elbows to the sky. Inhale, lift elbows to the sky, head, shoulders lift. Exhale, tailbone shifts, thigh bones lift toward the sky, pull low belly down. So I keep the lift as I pull the belly down. Inhale into low back. Resting the head back, lifting the shoulders up. Exhale, curling the tailbone, lifting thighs to sky, feet active, pull low belly down. So lift leg, pull belly together. And again, inhale. Exhale. Reaching, pulling belly down. Now leave the legs as they are. Inhale the head down. Stack the hands on the left thigh. Exhale, curling the tailbone. Now the back stays on the ground. Abdominals needed. Pull low belly down. Okay, now inhale, letting up a little bit. And exhale. Pull the thighs into the palms. Push the palms into the thighs. Pull low belly down. Release. Inhale, unwind. Stretch your legs out along the ground so they're straightened and resting on the ground. And just take the legs through just a little rotation, just kind of turning them in, toes toward each other, then rolling them out, toes away from each other. All right. So we'll turn to prepare dolphin. And on your exhale, we'll press the knees off the ground. So we did use our pranayama this earlier, that's Shitali. You can work with it in any of these poses. It's a focused breath. And you can work with it. A lot of precision is available there. So again, I'm wanting to say that there's no rush to form the tongue and draw the air in. You can use that careful, that measured, observant, feeling, listening breath as you always do. We'll raise the right leg first. And as you raise the leg, feel the neck relax, soften, deepening breath. And as you're sending that right leg out, expanding through the front of your right hip. So I want you to feel the right hip crease. and that you are expanding that hip crease area. Almost like more surface area, more that would be visible to light. There you go, there you go. All right, we'll switch sides. Right foot down. Left leg up. And that we can be working these leg up dolphins with the mind of stepping into inversion might actually help us reach a little bit further with our leg and shift that weight so the butt starts to kind of lift up, draw up. All right, we'll set the left leg down. We'll set the knees down. Inhale, the hands under the chest. Exhaling, downward dog. So I want you to feel as if you are nudging your butt, your sit bones back. Of course, that's back into space. It's back away from the head. So there's a little bit of a trajectory there. If I were backing my butt up into an object like a door, there would be some integrity throughout the spine. I'd be wiggling and pushing my butt back into that object. My spine wouldn't collapse on itself. There would be some structural integrity. There you go, there you go. Inhale, step the left foot forward, warrior two. Arms at eagle. Exhaling, we'll take the left elbow over the right, linking the hands. And exhale, gliding the shoulders down, the blades down. And as you're reaching the elbows forward, reach the legs outward. So as we're finding this lightness in the shoulders, we can find this lightness and spaciousness in the hips, same time. Inhaling, unwind. Reach arms all the way out to the side, spreading the hand bones. Exhaling, set that left arm down on the thigh. We're working a chest opener, an extended variation here. Raise the right arm. Exhaling, press out through the right heel. Expanding through that front of hip crease. Reach up and out through that right shoulder, arm and fingertips. Getting lighter through that shoulder. And inhaling, feeling that breath moving the mid-spine, the upper spine, the upper ribs. And just give it 2 more breath moments, experimenting. When you reach through the limbs, is that more accessible? If I don't reach through the limbs, if I'm kind of a little bit limp in my leg reach or a little bit limp in my right arm reach, can I feel the breath in there quite the same? What's that like for you? Use your limbs to reach in with your breath. Mm-hmm. Inhale, bring the right hand down. And when we exhale, we're going to step the feet back and set the knees down. Place the left forearm on the ground. Place the right palm on the ground. The right forearm is vertical. Now, get this set up so that your shoulder, this is your left shoulder, remains over the elbow. It's enticing to kind of rock our body back, thinking it's our elbow that we're reaching back. But we'll keep that left shoulder over the left elbow. Inhale, push with both palms so that both sets of chest muscles turn on. Exhale, reach your right elbow back. Back is toward your foot, toward the foot of the mat. Now keep that activity going, and let's just go through a couple cues so that you can feel and get some useful things. As you're reaching that right elbow back, can you feel the shoulder having moved away from the head? Yeah, the right side of your neck is a little more open. As you push with that left arm, can you feel there's lightness and support around that left shoulder? Can you feel both palms pushing so that both chest muscles are active? And release. Inhale the hands. I'd say under the shoulders. We'll move them just slightly forward of the shoulders. Bend elbows. Exhale. The knees press off the ground, turbo dog. So there's a little bit of everything in this turbo dog. There is a downward pressing, so down toward the ground and pushing downward, earthward. And there can be a little bit of that pulling the elbow back toward the back of your mat, toward the foot of your mat. And of course, there's lots of room to play here and finesse. Everyone's shoulders feel and behave differently. Staying in that turbo dog as best as we can. Inhale, raise the right foot up. And as you're exhaling, expand that front of right hip. Keep reaching the elbows powerfully toward the earth so the chest muscles are awakening, the serratus is getting very happy, very excited. And lowering that right foot, inhale, draw the knee toward the chest. Exhaling, step it forward, coming up, warrior two, reaching the arms out. And then as we move into eagle, exhaling the right over the left. Inhaling into the upper back and the collar. Exhale, gliding the shoulders down, the blades down. Here too. As you send the elbows away from your trunk, your core, reach the legs out. This is just an analogy right? So instead of us kind of pushing our solid mass in these directions, what if we were using our breath to tease open the mass, the particles, to reveal a more space-filled body? These are just poems. Inhaling, unwind, and here's that chest opener. Exhale the right forearm to the thigh, raise the left arm up. Let's start with the legs again. Exhale, press out through that left leg. Expanding through this left front of hip. Expanding through the abdomen, the chest, as if to reveal all the ins and outs and arounds of all these particles, all these organs, all these cells. Inhaling, spreading breath between the rib, sternal joints. Exhale, raising, lifting that left arm, reaching back, further exposing every little molecule to breath, every cell, every tube, every vessel. And inhale, we'll bring the hands down. And then exhaling, we'll set the knees down. And we'll do this other side. So we're just keeping the knees down for this flash prep. So we go right forearm down, left palm down. My right shoulder stays over my right elbow. And my left elbow's over my left wrist. There's kind of a push. It's almost a little bit like I'm spreading, stretching my mat with my arm strength. Inhale into the area between the shoulder blades. Exhale, pull with that left hand as if elbows moving toward the back of your mat. And not just any old pull. The pull is specific to the shoulder and to the shoulder blade. I pull so I feel that left shoulder move. I feel that left shoulder blade move. Pushing with the right arm. I push, feeling a lightness and a stability around that right shoulder. So a really strong move, keeping the strength, the rev, the oomph. I'm going to deepen our breath, even if you want to use a Sitali breath here. When we release, we'll set the hands just slightly forward from under shoulders, bending elbows, and on your exhale, we'll press the knees off the ground. Turbo dog. And now we raise the left leg up. If you need to use that shitali breath, that's fine. So part of that is a cooling, and in that cooling, there's a recognition of, oh, there's some heat, there's some thermal, energetic shifting occurring. And often there is, as we're working around the heart and the shoulders and the arms. It's an interesting phrase, hot under the collar. And we'll set that left foot down. Inhaling. We'll step the left foot forward, lunge. If you like padding, add it in under your right knee. And now when we raise the arms, those blades glide round. So we can start to lift and articulate that upper back. And that mid back. So here we can start to not only lift up, reach up, but judiciously choosing how much to reach back. And so we're using the arms, wrapping the shoulder, and with specificity, reaching back to more fully articulate the mid and the upper back. So yeah, that's it. Now all of you got a really great reach for that mid back. I hope you can feel breath accessing these precious nerve and cardiac areas. These are really great reaches. That's nice. And we release. Inhale, we'll set the hands down. And we'll step that left foot back. I'm going to do this without a roll. I'm making a at-the-moment decision here. I'm deciding whether to get a roll to lie down on or not. I think I'm going to go without, but decide for yourself. We're going to do a teensy-weensy little back bend, and if you want a roll to just support your low back, just insert it, a very easy, soft kind of lift. All right. Right hand reaches back, grabs the outer right ankle. So we're going to do half, a bow without a strap. And the left hand sets forward. The left hand, the left side, is going to work like a cobra. I'm going to keep this fairly low to the ground. I'm not really interested in the super archingness of this. So I'm going to set this left hand forward a foot. Okay. Sending the tailbone, the thighs toward the ground. Inhale. Left hand pulls chest forward. And my right foot simply supplies a little backup. I'm just going to linger here for a few breaths. When we reach behind to grab our limb, there's a tendency for us to want to roll or turn to the right. So as I'm doing this half bow, I am facing my chest back, groundward. And I find myself using that inner arm line, that left inner arm line, kind of gathering that ground and that space as if I'm kind of amassing the ground underneath my chest. So I'm using that turbo dog arm line. So I'm not spinning to the right. The spin would just put a little torque on the low back. Reach back through that left leg limb. And we'll release. Okay. So these aren't extreme back bends. I'm just trying to go for some pleasant work. Inhale, hands under chest. Exhale, we'll press back to the knees. And then press back, downward dog. All right, we'll do that lunge on the other side. Inhale the right foot forward. Add padding if you need. Wrapping the shoulders, raising the arms. So all the shoulder blade stuff we've been playing around with. Just to help us articulate, breathe, and massage that mid, that upper back. Okay. There it is, there it is. Yes, yes. Great. These are great, amazing reaches, and I do hope that you are feeling breath access that area between the blades. Looks pretty sweet. The shoulder blade area can certainly feel piled upon, and anything that we can do to liberate and help that and support that and open that and move that. What wonderful medicine. All right. Releasing. Inhale, we'll set the hands down. And exhaling, we'll step back. We'll do that half bow on the other side. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. No? Okay. So the right side of my body acting like cobra, and the left side of my body acting like bow without a strap. So I'm keeping this pretty low, and by low, that means my low back gets to be quite lengthy. I'm, again, just trying to find that articulation through the mid, through the upper back. So let's linger as we come up into half bow. I'm using my right hand to do the cobra move. And exhaling, I'm using the pressure of my left foot just to kind of, just little detailed movements here and there, letting out through the left shoulder. Reaching back through that right leg. We're not going extreme back bend. We're going for feeling our breath, quality of breath. Using Shitali if you like Shitali. When we register that cooling, that conscious registry of cooling, just find out what happens in your back bend. Gathering the ground with my inner right arm line. Yeah, let's release. Inhale, hands under chest. And then exhaling, press back to your knees. We're going to stay at our knees for a moment. Gather up some padding for your knees. We're going to play Camel. All right, Camel. It's been a moment, and I'm just delivering on my backbend promise for the month. So if you want to roll for your camel, roll is an option between the legs. If you need some neck support for your camel, I'll let you just remember that and configure that on your own. I won't talk us through the details. All right, so let's start hands on hips. And as you're getting in and starting to feel and explore and expand your breath, just a couple things come to mind in my body. I want to just share those. Instead of squeezing the back and the blades and the spine, feel for expanding that interior side of the spine. As you expand inside the interior side of your spine, the lung side of your spine, do you feel the chest wall expanding? And we'll take a moment to rest. There will be a second round, so there's plenty of time for a second round. I'm going to play a little bit more. So I'm just going to explain what I'm doing. I'm not suggesting you do it. I really am just trying this out. So as I was doing that last round of Camel, I was just kind of remembering feeling that internal rotation of our legs. Remember that twisted root abs? Okay. And I was just able to kind of recall and feel into the upper back from those moves. So I'm just creating a little bit of resistance with a strap loop on my ankles, just so I can play with that internal rotation on each side of my... Okay. I'm not recommending it. I'm just explaining what nonsense I'm up to. All right, let's do round 2. And the way that I'm getting my leverage for this internal rotation is I have a roll between my legs. All right. Here we go, round 2 Camel. So just continue until you feel finished. I'm intrigued by letting the ends of my limbs exact a very precise amount of pressure. It's very interesting for reasons I'm not prepared to articulate yet. All right. Let's do a lounge lizard as a release. If you want to use a roll for your lounge lizard, feel free to keep or insert the roll between your legs. And when we set up on the side, the heel, the hip, the hand align. So here's that other place where that internal rotation, and I'm going to exaggerate it just so it comes across the video to you. But I'm taking my top foot out of the way. But internal rotation is if my bottom leg turned and my toes pointed more up than horizon. That would be internal. Not a foot move, I'm just using my foot to illustrate. And it's subtler than that, so when I get into the pose, that internal rotation's subtler than what I showed you. And that'll generally get you some nice access above the hip bone. It's really nice to have tools to get into these deep hip and back muscle areas. I'm going to switch sides. Okay. So one way to do this is just reach out through the heels. Just very... If you're playing with that rotation, it's usually the bottom leg that can give you that greatest contrast in the bottom side of your side bend. All right. We'll release. We'll set up Shavasana, whatever feels restful to you. But the important gesture here, and I know we're all on different timelines, the important gesture is to situate ourselves so that we can, in our gesture, in our posture, signal it is done. And so whether you create that internal signal of completion of ceremony, completion of practice, whether you signal that as gratitude, or the conscious selection to feel and sense awe, the conscious movement to a state of rest. However you do that is the really important part of this ritual. It's a deep, deep internal signal to our psyche that says, this is the conclusion of this intensified awareness practice. This is where we're moving from non-ordinary time and back into ordinary time. This is the threshold from kairos to chronos. And when you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side and press to seated. I love you all so much. Namaste.